All right, welcome everyone to General Legion on YouTube and Lycan Theory on Rumble. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you're having a great week. We're doing our second stream today. So yeah, should be interesting. We're going to be covering Stephanie Harlowe this stream and any updates with her and her husband / ex-husband, Adam. I don't think they're divorced yet, so I guess it's not her ex-husband yet. There were some updates, such as Adam apparently got into a car crash, which was interesting. And then Stephanie Harlowe herself, there's probably a few things to discuss. Someone actually reached out to me and wanted to discuss this topic and a few grievances they had with Stephanie Harlowe, and that is Tara Vaughn here in the chat. Tara, I sent you the link for any time you want to hop on the panel. Feel free to do so. We're also probably going to have Lindsay hop up at some point. She's not home yet. She's stuck in traffic because she's a shitty YouTuber. She's not good at this YouTube shit like I am. I'm very professional. So, when I say I'm going to do a stream, I do the stream, whereas when she says she's going to do a stream, she kind of like slacks off. She's like all over the map. I mean, she can't keep her shit straight. Bad, doesn't keep her priorities in check, Me, however, very good at priorities, very good at keeping my shit straight. And I'm just good like that. I'm just cool like that. Yes, there's my other channel. If you want to subscribe, I'm probably for tomorrow night, I'm probably going to do my stream on General Legion After Dark. So if you're not subscribed there yet, get subscribing. What the fuck are you waiting for? That's where my memberships are. So click that link, go subscribe. She's trying, supposedly. I don't believe her. Do you guys believe her? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Lindsay is trying. I don't believe she's trying. So put a 2 because I just don't believe it. Hello, Tara Vaughn. Is that correct? Is that what your name is? Tara or Tara?
It's Tara.
Is it Tiara?
Nope, Tara.
Is it Torah, like the Jewish book, the Torah?
Nope, not even close.
Okay, so it's Tara. All right.
It is Tara.
All right. Welcome,
Can you
Tara,
hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to be waiting for, well, not waiting. Fuck her. We're not waiting. We're just, Lindsay's going to pop on at some point. That's the DeLorean here. I had to go to a mom, wife stuff. Yeah, it's just crappy shit. No one cares that you're a mom or a wife or anything. Yes, there's my other channel. Go subscribe there if you haven't already. Did you subscribe to the other channel?
Did I?
Did you?
I did.
Okay, good. Yeah, subscribe there if you haven't already. I want to make sure because I'm probably going to go live there tomorrow night.
Okay.
Should be good. But yes, this stream we're going to be talking about Stephanie Harlowe. And as I understand it, Tara, you have some grievances with Miss Harlowe.
Well, I was a former fan of Miss Harlowe, just like a lot of people are. And I actually did. I made a video about her roughly 2 years ago now. And just seeing some behaviors that I really was starting to make me have a different outlook on her. And when I aired that out, all her fans just came for me in my comments. To date, it's my highest streamed video at over 20,000 views. But the comments I had to shut off because her fans are definitely parasocially connected, to say the least. So
yeah, I imagine
they weren't too happy with me.
Yeah, when you're dealing with someone who's a popular content creator, you're going to deal with a lot of militant fans. That's just kind of how it is, no matter who you are. Yeah. Thank you very much to Paul for the $5. Says, hello, Jamie. Here's some shekels. Thank you. If you guys would like to donate to the stream at any point, my links, they're pinned in the chat. They're in the description. All that good shit.
You fucking piece of shit, Jamie. I like you, Jamie, no matter what you think.
That's one of my fans. So let me say hi to people in the chat who bothered to show up to this stream, and then
Okay.
we'll get started here. Connie, welcome. Drama Unleashed, how are you? Missy K, Purifier, Sabrina, how are you? Baby Jane, Golden Saurus, Jenny, hi. Lonnie, good to see you. Thank you for everyone for sharing the stream out. Please hit the thumbs up. Hey, Shay, good to see you. Scotty, how are you? Paul, as I said before. And Purifier, good to see you. Mrs. Ka, nice to meet you. Yes, this is Tara. She's new, I guess. I mean, she's had her own channel.
I have.
Yeah,
but
she doesn't.
I'm a single mother who works, so I make videos when time permits, and I've kind of slacked a little bit. But
I understand
I have some videos.
This is kind of like more your hobby. You're not really like, it's not like your job, really.
Correct.
Or anything like that.
Correct.
Hey, Rachel, Mr. Ka, good to see you. And Lindsay, the slacker. Do you want me to stick my head out of the window and yell at motorists that James said to get the fuck out of it? Yes, please do. Say that I authorized it. I told you to do that. You shared it. Great. Thank you for sharing the stream. Okay, so what shall we do first? Do you want to talk about what happened with Adam before we get into the other stuff?
Yeah, sure. Absolute craziness.
Yeah, because what happened with Adam was kind of interesting. He apparently got into a car crash. The car apparently flipped over 3 times, which if it flipped over 3 times, he had to been driving really fast, like riding like the wind.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
definitely.
There's Tara's channel if you'd like to subscribe to her. Dawn, good to see you. So he says this is on Instagram that he posted these images. Okay, I don't know if you guys can make this out. It's kind of hard to see, but it says Adam G says fuck. Like, who says that after they get into like a major car crash? Like, fuck. Like, that's what you say when you lost like a $20 bet. Like, fuck, I lost $20. Not like you almost died in a fucking car crash. Then this story, and it was all going so today. I guess he got scattered and spelled well wrong. Tropical storms, man. So it's the storm's fault. Okay. And then there's an image here. It says, here's a guardian angel sent from heaven to watch over and protect you. I guess he's saying that he was protected by a guardian angel.
Well, I think so, since this has been his, I believe, 2nd or 3rd car accident, according to other people in the Reddit.
Yes.
Crime Weekly Reddit
Porsche,
there.
The Porsche that he had before that they were bickering over in that one video, apparently he also crashed that one. So he crashed
with him?
2 cars in the past few months, which is just bizarre.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's see. He totaled this car, flipped over 3 times. Let's see. Yeah, it says rolled 3 times, no injuries. I feel like I've been getting help from above.
Definitely.
I love
He's lucky
this
to
car.
be alive.
Right, he is. I love this car so much. By far my fave of all time. Saved my life. What is this even? This is not even like anything special. Oh, it's a BMW? Okay, but it doesn't look that great. It doesn't look that special. And it says sideway on the license plate. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Do you have any theories?
I can't help you out with that one.
Yeah, I see the BMW logo there. The blue checker thing. So I guess it's BMW. Yeah, it was God. 'Twas God that saved the man. I don't know. I'm getting a weird feeling from these Instagram stories. Do you know? Can you like profile his personality from these? I kind of can.
His behavior seems to be kind of spiraling. It
seems. It's a very bizarre, like overly, like emotional and gushy and very.
Yeah.
He's almost. I don't know. This might sound like sexist or whatever. He sounds like a woman. Like I
Kind of.
What that means.
Kind
I
of.
know that what I can see, and he just seems very feminine doing this shit. Hey, was that Lindsay flipping off the cab driver, dropping me off at 278 Bleecker Street? Yep, that was her. That was her M4 coupe special car. God made it. Yeah, God made him crash. He's like, you got to figure your life out, son. something's not going right. You got to change something. So, yeah, and they're basically kind of giving him shit here. They said he hydroplaned in his Porsche. That was longer than 6 weeks ago. It's funny, like he was on this Reddit before, the Crime Weekly snark, right? But then he got banned along with Stephanie's daughter, I believe. Stephanie and their daughter. So
I did see that.
And now they're just kind of, I think I don't know. They're giving him kind of a lot of shit on this subreddit now, which, I mean, he's the one who kind of came out with all this shit. So I'm not really that surprised, that they're criticizing him now.
Yeah.
This was another story. Apparently someone dropped in the comments there. I love my insurance agent, but for real, don't sleep on karma. Kindness might save your life. Whatever.
Yeah, some of his comments are very particular, like very strange.
Yeah,
I did read some of them on the Reddit forum there, and some of the things he was saying was kind of off keen there,
No, not my new lady. This woman. She was a previous fan of Stephanie Harlowe, and she wanted to talk about some topics here with the new updates on Stephanie and her husband.
I figured I'd come join. This is actually my first official live stream.
Well, welcome to live streaming. It's a shit show.
It is. It is.
By the way, just very so different. You know, I mean, are you aware of me? Do you know who I am?
No.
Okay.
Not a clue.
All right. Well, I guess I have somewhat of a past on here. So you may get some visitors to your channel warning you about me.
Okay.
Yeah. Just disregard.
Good to know.
Yeah. That's why in court, when my mental health was trying to be weaponized against me, I said, of course, I wanted to die every second or day without my child. Right. Yeah. And him having these accidents, it might be a case of his deteriorating mental illness because of not, having custody of his children and having the orders on him and going to jail constantly.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not really sure exactly what's going on. We can only kind of take guesses.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not seeing your children will make you do some crazy things, especially when you're used to seeing them on a daily basis. So, it's kind of clear that he's definitely spiraling with his mental health.
Yeah, and it's a shame that he's not getting the help he needs. It doesn't seem like, when he made that one video where he was in his car and he was kind of, very emotional, and he was just very distraught over, Stephanie calling the cops on him again, and he's like, I'm not going back to jail and all this other stuff. And it's just, it's kind of sad,
It is. Yeah, it is a sad situation, especially when there's young children involved in it. And then you have the whole public aspect of it, of her being a public figure and everyone injecting their opinions into it. So I can definitely see how, that would take a toll on somebody.
Yeah, for sure. So if he was stable before, then it sucks because he's not now because the damn life imploded. Right.
True.
And I'm not comfortable like just blindly blaming Stephanie for it. Like, I'm not just comfortable saying like, oh, Stephanie's the reason why because obviously he played a role, he's been in this marriage. He's, played his part in what happened. I think things could have went very differently, honestly. I think honestly, he's a little too emotional, a little too, what do you call it? He's a little too wrapped up, a little too like, I think he goes by the whims of you know, all the drama that's being swept up in the marriage and the divorce and all that. And I think he's not self-preserving enough. That's what I think.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm actually
because
very
he's letting
surprised.
himself, he's so messy. He's like getting arrested all over the place. He's making all these videos. He's putting all this shit. He's issuing threats. I mean, even when I want to be on his side about it, because it's wrong, Stephanie keeping his children away from him, you know, and just kind of being the narc that she is. She is very narcissistic. We've established that.
Definitely.
But I also think that, you know, he could have handled things way better, for sure.
100%. I can agree with that. I was about to say that. I was actually very surprised that he was posting the videos and, you know, joining in on the Crime Weekly snark site there. So definitely a little bit messy for sure.
Yes. I mean, even a regular divorce with little drama, no kids involved, was really hard. When I went through it, I cannot imagine going through this situation. Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're hypotheticals. We don't know the full situation that's going on, but we're just we're just kind of judging from what we can see, you know, from their actions. And that's it. I will say it was probably not smart of him to come online and expose anything, videos, information, anything, like, especially when there's pending court cases and stuff.
That's not going to help them in the long run, for sure.
Nope. Not going to help.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But, you know, Stephanie has been alluding to their impending divorce on her recent videos on her own YouTube channel and the Crime Weekly YouTube channel. So
do we know if she signed anything yet, or is that just still up in the air?
I think it's up in the air still. And, you know, the community post that she wrote regarding addressing everything, since he had leaked videos, in it she states that she has been trying to file for a divorce, and she basically spews out a whole book that nobody wants to read. You know, and if you go and look, there's actually, he's the one who filed for divorce. So she's just straight up lying to the audience and the people who watch her, and making it seem like it was her trying to find a way out of this marriage, which isn't the truth.
No. Yeah. We read through that, like the last stream that we did, and me and Lindsay, and I think his demands were he wanted to get half of all the money that is from the business and half of, you know, and whatever. I mean, that's just kind of normal divorce protocol, honestly, these days. 50-50. So, I mean, they did work on the business together. He was integral. He was part of it. So, I mean, she's just kind of being selfish and miserly, and I don't think it's really doing her any favors. So they're kind of both in the wrong in different ways. But I will say Adam didn't help himself.
I can agree with that for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. The narcissistic abuser usually presents better in court because they're calm and in control. The abused party is usually frantic and devastated and emotional. I would agree with that, Lindsay. That seems to be the case a lot of times. So tell us about this one case that Stephanie worked on that you noted that she was kind of victim blaming.
So there was a case where she was blaming a mother. Basically, a young couple went camping for the weekend, and their 2-year-old little boy disappeared, was what we assumed to be kidnapped. And during this time, the mother had left due to go to the store because she got her period and needed to buy tampons. Sorry for all the guys there, but that's what happened. And when she returned to the campsite, her baby son was missing. He was left with the grandfather, I believe, and the husband. And when she got back, he was gone. And that started this like huge search. Now, to this day, this is still an open investigation. Nobody has been arrested. Her son has not been found. And there's been a lot of public speculation that these parents obviously might have had something to do with it, but that's just speculation. At the end of the day, we don't know. Maybe this mother really did run to the store, which they found receipts for, that she had went to the store to buy tampons. So, but end of the story is we don't know what happened, what really happened. Nobody was there. Well, Stephanie alluded that the mother was suspicious because a woman always knows when she's getting her period. Right. And when I watched that, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, wait a second. About 2 videos previous to that one, she covered Casey Anthony and on her personal channel. And in that actual video, at one point, she said that she never knows when her period's about to come on. Literally, like putting it to the context of Casey Anthony. Right. It took me hours and hours to find her saying this statement, but I did. I clipped it, and then I clipped what she was saying about this now mother in another case, saying that she should have known when she was due to get her period, so that it was like a ruse or something, that she really
contradictory.
100% contradicting herself within 3 videos. And I clipped these 2 videos together, and that is my second highest viewed video. And I didn't even show my face. I didn't say anything, and I posted it up on my YouTube channel.
Period blood ranks very highly on YouTube. It's a hot topic.
Apparently, but
that's going to be my next video. That's what my next video is going to be about. Yeah,
it definitely.
And I'm gonna mansplain periods to women. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, ladies,
definitely
make sure that you plan for your periods. And if you know how you know for sure if you have it, you'll have some blood. That's right. There'll be some blood, and you have to check for that. That would be funny.
So I posted that clip, those clips up together, and it's it's one thing to comment and give your opinion and speculate and on cases that are already said and kind of done and kind of have like a resolution to it. But the fact that this mother is still living day to day without knowing what happened to her baby son, and that this is still like an open investigation, considering she's got close to 1 million subscribers and tons of views on that one video. I just would not want to be in that mother's shoes, having this YouTuber come on and call me suspicious because I had to run to the store and grab tampons. Like so that really got to me. I couldn't let that go. I just think it was very irresponsible to speculate on something like that when you really have no frigging clue,
I noticed that in her videos, she's a little teensy weensy bit arrogant about her commentary. Like, see, when I'm doing true crime, I probably would just kind of report what's happening, maybe give my opinion here or there about some basic stuff. Hey, Janie. But I wouldn't lecture people, especially victims of true crime. Like that one video that you told me about in the email, the Bianca Devins video. I listened to this part, and I mean, it was kind of outlandish what she was saying here. She was, I'll play this part so we can kind of hear what she says, but she's talking about the victim, a 17-year-old girl, and basically kind of lecturing her about, you can't lecture her. She's dead.
Correct.
But she was kind of lecturing the 17-year-old girl about meeting strange men off the internet. It's like, but she's dead. She's not going to be able to, who are you talking to? I thought it was a little bizarre. So let's just listen to this a bit.
And this type of behavior, this toxic behavior, it's a vicious cycle. It doesn't change. So it's more than likely that Brandon would have witnessed things like this before, even if he wasn't there for that exact thing. Okay, so I looked it up, and Jason Clark, he actually accepted a plea deal, and he served 2 to 4 years for this. It's just too similar. The accounts and the situations, they're just too similar. And Jason Clark would have you believe that it had nothing to do with that. It wasn't him or his family at all. They raised their son right. He actually, in one article, said that his son was on LSD at the time, and that's why he did it. And, according to police reports, there's no sign or evidence that Brandon was on LSD at the time. So it just seems like excuses from somebody who really realizes that they probably should have been a better role model and, are probably partially responsible for what happened to this young girl. But that's just my opinion. I don't know Jason Clark. I don't know Brandon Clark. I don't know their family. I'm sure they have their own stuff going on. But I would personally feel responsible if my kids ever went on to, do anything bad like that or hurt somebody or kill somebody. I would feel responsible even if I hadn't done the exact same thing and they had replicated it. You know what I mean? You just feel that responsibility as a parent. So because of the fact that he had this knife, and friends of Bianca's online, they kind of said that he obsessed over her a little bit and he kind of pushed for it to be more and she didn't want it to be more. Many people also say that she led him on. People say that she led other guys on. There's a whole bunch of videos out there that are talking about, not that Bianca deserved it in any way, but there was things that she did that triggered certain events to happen. I'm not going to talk about that here. I haven't researched it enough, and honestly, I don't really care what she did before she was 17. I'm sure she did a lot of stupid things. That's what we do when we're young.
Well, okay. So first off, she mentions those people saying that she deserved it or she was leading him on or whatever, and she says she's not going to comment on that, right? But she obviously brings it up for a purpose. I think maybe subconsciously or maybe passive aggressively even, she agrees with those statements. And she also says, I don't care what she did before she was 17. Well, I gave you the link privately, Lindsay, if you can grab it there. But 17 is still a minor.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's not like 17 is any better than 16, in that regard. It's
correct.
It's just kind of a weird, bizarre statement for her to make. I don't care what she did before she was 17. Well, why not? You care what she did when she was 17. It's kind of weird.
Whole life, and it just feels like we're going to live forever. Boys do that, girls do that, teenagers lead each other on, and they do like the attention. So it's certainly not a thing.
So right here, she kind of is alluding to the possibility that maybe she did lead this guy on, this guy who ended up murdering her. Apparently, if you guys don't know the case of Bianca Devins, she met the 17-year-old girl, Bianca. She met this guy off of Instagram, and he murdered her, and then he posted the photos on Instagram. I believe that was what happened, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar, but that's the broad strokes of it.
Deserved to die for. But because of these things, his past history, his father's past history, and the fact that he had this knife in his truck, that leads me to believe that it was premeditated in some way, that at least he...
Okay, well, I'll just say this. Having a knife in a truck doesn't mean premeditated anything. That just... Nope. People have knives all the time, and, on them, sometimes in their pockets. You ever heard of a pocket knife?
Knives?
I mean... I had one very recently until I went to the airport and I had to throw it out because they're like, you have to go back to your car, sir, and put your knife back in your car. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to throw it away. I'll just get another one. But
he knew one day he might be compelled to do this. Now, Bianca's mother just recently, just a few days ago, actually, or last week, she talked to a local website, Syracuse.com, and she said, I saw the internet world's heart and evil. Kim Devins claims that her and her family learned Bianca was dead when strangers started sending the photos of her bloodied body. The photos included captions like, look at your daughter now, and your daughter's a whore. She got what she deserved. But other strangers did send messages of support. Bianca loves the color pink, so many made artwork of pink skies and pink clouds. Kim Devins.
Okay. Hey, Lindsay.
James, sorry. I was taking a drink. I'm out of breath.
Because you're so overweight?
I knew.
Did you just sit down? What happened? What did you do that was so...
you were going to call me fat. Listen, motherfucker.
Hey, Bill.
I'm here.
Welcome. Okay. So, Lindsay, this is Tara Vaughn.
Hello, Tara.
Hi, Lindsay.
Tara is from Boston. You can tell by her thick accent.
Isn't it Boston?
No, it's Boston. Boston. It's not Boston would be more like a New York accent.
All right, fine, James.
You don't know you're New England. Okay, you don't know shit. Okay, I'm from Brooklyn, bitch.
I know all the hill rod shit. I'll just stick to what I know.
Yeah, you stick to your hill rod crap. All right, your southern. All right.
Yes. Fine.
So this is the DeLorean. She,
as you can see, he really values my opinion to me as a person. Other than being overweight and late to the live stream, James really cares.
She is a frequent co-host of mine on panels. So, you're
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yes.
Okay, let's continue.
Said, quote, I saw the most evil side of the internet, which was so unexpected. Bianca is much more than those photos. She's much more than her death, and she's much more than a murder case. She's an artist, a sister, a daughter, a friend, and her bright light was taken entirely too soon. Kim Devins also says about her daughter, that was her safe place. She could be anyone, and she could create a different persona who had more confidence. On Instagram, she posted about her mental illness and her struggle with it. On May 1st, she posted that it was Borderline Personality Disorder Awareness Month. A lot of you know I have been diagnosed with this, she posted. It's a struggle I go through daily. I've come a long way in my progress.
Borderline personality disorder, Lindsay.
Yeah, thank you, James. I knew, of course, you would think of me.
Well, that's what the murdered 17-year-old girl posted.
So she had BPD.
Yes, I believe.
Well,
yes.
That's like out of all, I'm statistically, out of all the mental illnesses, which I have several, as you know, that one, it's there's no cure. It's very hard to treat, and it's got the highest rate of unaliving because of that. Yeah. So
I can't be cured, but I can get control of my symptoms. We are not unlovable, she continued. We can have healthy relationships and are not manipulative. A lot of what we do, we don't understand. I am responsible for this stuff a lot. We are not evil. Our mental illness does not make us a bad person. Bianca's mother says she monitored Bianca's accounts. If she met someone online, her mother would often ask to FaceTime the person. At one low point, Bianca had considered suicide. Her mom got her help and secured from her a promise that Bianca would never leave her. This is really sad for me, guys. I have an 18-year-old daughter. And I just can't imagine what Kim Devins is going through right now. And the internet does suck. The internet sucks and people are mean. They feel safe to be mean on the internet because they feel anonymous. And I don't know how anybody could ever say anything bad about a 17-year-old girl who was brutally murdered. It doesn't matter what she did before she died. We hurt people. People hurt people. And hurt people hurt people. It's just what we do.
Can I just say personally that I hate that expression?
Yes, but it is true. It is cliche, but it is true.
But here's but you notice that all the people who say that are the biggest assholes.
Thank you, James. I said that just the other day. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hurt people. Shut the fuck up. Maybe stop being such an asshole. How about that?
I love that you're lecturing on how not to be an asshole.
I notice it every time they keep saying it, and like it's always the dickheads.
Yes. Please do go on about how not to be an asshole, James.
At least I'm upfront about it.
When we're young and we're growing and we're learning, nobody deserves to be killed for it. And I guess what in my opinion, what I wanted.
It's such a obvious thing to say.
Can't let it go. You can't.
Nobody deserves to be killed. No shit.
Take from this and what I want other
people like this content. This
perhaps
is like
Hitler might have deserved to be killed.
Okay, let's leave Hitler out of it.
I'm just saying.
We need to teach our children. As I've said before, I live in the world as it is, not as I wish it was. And in this real world, we need to teach
she's gonna lecture the mother now.
Daughters to protect themselves. Stop meeting people online and meeting them in real life when you're
she's not even lecturing the mother. First she lectured the mother for like 2 seconds. Now she's lecturing the dead daughter.
I mean, I've met people online that I've met in real life, but I'm in my 30s and I know how to protect myself and I know how to not get taken in and manipulated. When you're 17, you don't know. So stop meeting people that you meet online in real life. Stop.
You're not all these 17-year-old girls' mothers, Stephanie Harlowe.
Yeah, that's really like she has no business. You know what I mean? It comes
exactly. You're out of your depth.
Yeah,
you're out of your depth, lady. Yes, Bull, it is for real.
Developing these intense relationships with these people that you meet online because you don't really know who they are. And as a young girl,
do you really think a 17-year-old girl is watching your bullshit content on true crime? It's mostly 40-year-old women that are at home with 3 kids.
Here we go.
Like Lindsay here.
It's unfortunate, but we really need to recognize a young man's intentions. So we know when we're teenagers if this boy who's hanging around us is interested in being friends or if he wants more. And if he wants more and you don't want more, then don't be friends with him. Don't do it. I'm sorry.
I hate the like I told you so arguments, especially when someone's dead. Like what a tasteless thing to say.
Yeah. Like no shit. Like that mother's probably no, of course. Now hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, thanks for the warning now that I'm dead.
Thanks for
It's
pointing
just
out all
so
the things
weird.
that mother probably runs through her head every day and has to just
Right.
live with and can't undo. And then you're pointing out, all the obvious things. Let me tell you something. You could do all those things and shit can still happen. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, did she have a baby at 17?
Stephanie did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she's a teen
It's
mom.
pretty hypocritical then of her to say this stuff, right?
Right.
And
But she knows
Bianca Devon's mother has probably said these things to her because I have a teenage daughter, so I know it goes through one ear and out the other.
So do
Yeah,
I.
I'm
and
sure
she's a
that she
lot like
wasn't
me.
like, I'm sure
Mhm.
she wasn't slacking and just let her daughter do whatever the fuck she wanted. She probably was like, hey, maybe be careful, just
Yeah.
Now, listen, you could do, again, having a teenage daughter. I'm just telling you, James, having a daughter, especially like my daughter, she's like me. I
Yeah.
could tell her, I could do everything, try to, lecture all this,
Mhm.
and still, if she gets in her head, she wants to do something. I mean, she's very
Yeah.
headstrong. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, you could do the best you can do, and still, sometimes that's not enough.
Thanks.
Yeah, she's
Sometimes
from
Very
Boston.
true. Parked the car
Boston.
in Harvard Yard.
Exactly. She parked it all the way in Harvard Yard.
Harsh. It sounds terrible, but it's much better
How you like
to not
them
give somebody the
apples?
feeling that there's hope and to not allow somebody to remain in your orbit when you know that their end goal is something that will never be your end goal. And on the other side of that, we need to teach our sons that if a girl you're interested in tells you with her mouth and her words that she only wants to be friends and nothing more, then you need to take that as
We need to teach our sons not to be murderers.
Yeah, this is all just common, like just what the
That's not even common sense. You
Yeah.
can't teach someone not to be a murderer. That is right up there with like
No.
teaching your sons not to be rapists.
No, but
That is
what she's
bizarre.
saying is just all stuff that's like no shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but
you teach your sons to do mean
hold
shit.
on. But she's saying to teach your sons to accept no for an answer or whatever from a girl or whatever.
Right.
This
Yeah.
guy literally took photos of her dead body and posted it on Instagram. That's nothing
Yeah,
I
I
could
missed
have.
that.
You could teach someone and not to do.
Exactly.
That is
I would
just
I would venture
bizarre.
a guess to say that
Yeah.
somebody that would do something like that is not somebody that is a normal.
That's a psychopath.
Rational, exactly. It's not like
You're
you
not
just
going to teach a
logic is going
psychopath
to-
not to do that
Right.
stuff. That's so
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why, like, whenever people are saying, like, "Oh, teach your sons, to keep their hands to themselves and not rape people."
Right.
A rapist is not going to
Exactly.
listen. That's why they're raping.
Right.
They
No,
don't
you're right.
listen.
Correct.
They obviously don't take no for an answer. They don't care.
Yeah, it's not like they're having an epiphany listening to this, like, aha,
Right.
only
Oh,
someone had had this
maybe I
lecture
should
with me.
ask next time,
Right. Right.
dude.
Damn it! If only I'd
Weird.
known.
as gold.
People are
That's the final statement. Even if she gives you hugs that seem to linger, even if she laughs at your jokes, even if she, touches your shoulder when you're around, even if she sits in your lap or, kisses you on the cheek, don't put yourself in that position. It's a dangerous world these days for young girls and young men. Just don't put yourself in that position. Just find a new girl who does like you and who does.
Find a new
pause
girl
that.
that won't reject you, and that way you don't have to murder anyone.
I just noticed something.
What is this?
James?
Is this for real? Come on.
Is that her jacket? Does that say basically a detective on it? What the actual fuck?
Wow.
Thank you for your credentials on your.
I would have thought that would have been like photoshopped or something.
I am just noticing that myself.
That says everything I need to know right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Daria, do you want me to read this out? The thing you sent me?
Scotty, I had my first kid. I just turned 17. Like, yeah, I was pregnant.
So I'll read this out. Okay, so I guess Daria sent me. This is like an example of a woman who might say something like this. Sorry. Oh, I guess she might be. This is like Stephanie talking to Adam, I guess, right?
Okay.
Sorry I cheated on you, betrayed you, fucked your brother, your cousins, even your own dad. I'm sorry I bleached your clothes, then set them on fire and keyed your car. It's just hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
That's funny shit.
That is funny. I love Daria.
All right,
That's
let's keep
hilarious.
playing.
Want more because you're wasting this time with this other girl and you're just going to be pissed off every day when you see her flirting with other guys, and it's going to turn into a bad situation for everybody. So we need to teach our children this, and they probably won't listen. They probably will go ahead and, make these mistakes anyways, but it's good to at least try to instill the understanding in children and in teenagers and adolescents as they grow, that human relationships are incredibly complicated and incredibly fragile, and they need to be handled and built and maintained with care and with clear, precise boundaries. I definitely want to know what you guys feel about this case.
Yeah, I'm sure 17-year-olds are going to be able to draw great boundaries, with boys.
Right. I'm not sure I'd want to be sending my child. I'm not that whatever. I'm perfect by any means, but be like, oh yes,
Not by any means.
Let me shut up, James. Let me send my child over here to this woman that is having an affair with, like, I guess a coworker. That, you know what I mean, and all that. She sure has a handle on relationships. You know what I mean?
Clearly not.
Yeah.
Right.
James.
But now, didn't Bianca's mother come out and ask Stephanie to take down the video?
Is this
regarding her?
wait, is this the family? Because I read about this over on Reddit, where they said that there is some situation, some case that she was covering that the family had asked her to knock it off and she disregarded it. Is that this one?
I believe so.
Oh,
I believe
okay.
so. I know very little about that, but
Okay.
I did also
about
read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I just find it crazy that she went ahead and she's covering her again now on the Crime Weekly podcast.
Oh wow.
So
what a fucking,
which is just disrespectful all around.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that she asked people to not cover her story with Adam, right?
Exactly, James.
Or she would sue them, right?
Yep.
But she is totally, she gives herself carte blanche to cover, girls that got murdered, like underage girls who
Can I make
were murdered
this
in
point
cold blood.
that I've made before? It reminds me, this struck me like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, where I thought about it. I was like, why is it that in our community, or whatever, my community, that people are all the time talking about digging on each other? I was like, but if you label yourself, anoint yourself as a true crime or whatever, you're covering cases, and you label it as research, nobody bats an eye. You see these people get up and they talk about the neighbors and the kids and the this and the that, all kinds of shit that's wildly inappropriate. But if you label it research and you say that and no credentials to cover these cases, you're good to go. You know what I mean? You're fine as long as you say that.
I don't get it. Like, never have so many less qualified people been given so many accolades in such a profession such as the true crime circuit.
I agree.
I've never seen anything like it. Like it, I know where mediocrity is praised.
Yes,
I don't understand it. I really don't.
Now, Stephanie, I believe, is a high school dropout.
Oh, even better.
Of course she is.
I vaguely remember her saying this in a very early video of hers. I've been following her since the very beginning when she did.
You mean you've been stalking her?
Stalking, yeah. I've been stalking her. I mean, I used to really like her and her personality very early on. It was a lot different than it is today. I will say that.
Kardashian effect. I think it actually started with Paris Hilton. I think it started with that bimbo.
Probably.
Listen, Paris Hilton's actually
the Kardashian
smart.
effect.
Now listen,
okay, but she acts like a bimbo in public, so that's all I
she
care
marketed
about.
that on purpose. She was
I'm
smart
sure
enough.
she did.
Yeah, and she made a lot of money over that. So she's smart
I'm sure
enough to do
she
that.
did. She was probably one of the. She was the proto influencer.
Yeah.
She was one of the first ones.
Because Kim Kardashian used to be her organizer, like her what do you call it, personal assistant. Did you know that?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, before she got famous. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kardashians also knew O.J. Simpson. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. Through their father, who was a lawyer that represented.
Yes, he was the lawyer. I saw that in the TV show American Crime Story on
Very
FX.
good, James. And what's her name? Kris Jenner, whatever she goes by now. She was also very good friends with Nicole Simpson. Yeah.
Okay. She's very smart, but she acted like a fucking vapid.
Yeah.
Cute.
It was a character that she took all the way to the bank. You know what I mean? But if you listen to her now,
yeah.
I clearly wasn't the market for it, but
no, I'm just saying that
it worked out for her.
If you whatever, I just keep up with her because she's put out a book. She's doing a lot for, like, she was sent to one of those places that they send troubled kids and she uncovered like a lot of the abuse that goes on these ranches where they send troubled children. She's done a lot to change laws and pass legislation, and she's actually very intelligent. So, you know, I'm just saying she that was a whole character that she marketed. Yeah, she's very smart. James is, he's already checked out. I could see his face.
I don't even know what the hell we're talking about anymore.
Well, we could talk about periods again if you want to, James.
Yeah, so period blood. I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book for you called Period Blood and You.
You totally should, James. I think you should. I love that, Scotty. I did. I was so nosy on there. It was like this. I don't even remember. Is that? I'm trying to explain to you. It was this thing that like you could look up your area, right? And it was like this gossip like thing online. I actually found, anyways, I'll talk about that at a later time. But it was crazy. It was very messy, but it was it's like basically like a National Enquirer for your local town. Do you know what I mean? Yes. You're like, what a hill rod. This is
I've never heard of it.
Hey, I've never heard of it either.
Yeah.
I forgot all that memoir. She's not the only true crime creator that's done some nasty stuff. The family has to stop 10 to Life covered the long custody case in such a biased, disgusting manner that people from the internet went to the mom's house with pew-pews and threatened the mom that had other children in her care still. Now she has over 1 million subs. I'm telling you, man, these true crime people out here, they're very unscrupulous, like almost damn near criminal behavior with how they.
What did I tell you? Criminals covering crimes. That should be the name of one of these channels. You know.
Yeah, that's the name of that's the community now.
Yes, pretty much.
It is.
Yeah, talk about an inside scoop on shit. Yes.
So what else is happening with Stephanie Harlowe? You're the obsessed one who stalks her all over the place.
Let's talk about her doing this web series on YouTube called Serial.
Oh God.
I did. Right. So I actually stopped following her about
Wasn't
2
there a
years ago
podcast called Serial? Did you remember that podcast?
I think there is. I think there is.
That's not the same thing?
No.
It's a different thing. Okay.
Completely different thing. And I actually just had found this out recently through the Reddit forums there. But honestly, I'm shocked. Why would somebody who's doing true crime content on YouTube and covering these real life cases be so unaware, self-aware that they're going to be an actress and as a serial killer?
Yeah, not just an actress, not to be the victim, to be the serial killer. That's what's weird.
Yeah,
kind of glamorizing that.
We covered that. I think it was like one of the first streams we did on this, where it was like very bizarre that she would act in these videos. It just
inappropriate.
It's bizarre.
It's very
because you're making true crime content about killers, victims, a very serious topic, and then you're kind of approaching from almost a comedic point of view on this other channel. It
feels very campy too. The episodes were very just low budget. It's almost like a what do you call it?
Yeah, it's mocking almost.
What do you call it, James, in your movie terms, where it's like a vanity project or something for yourself?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really shitty. It's very.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor
production. I don't know why she agreed to do that. Like it's tasteless. She's a very tasteless person. I'm actually kind of surprised that she has really taken off on here and people respect her. Like I don't get it. Like I just watching that video we were watching before, like she's very tasteless in how she even talks about the cases themselves and the victims. It's like,
James,
what are you lecturing the parent for?
Wait. You just said, what about our discussion last night? To be fair, we were talking about the fact that, look, most of the people in like the true crime community on here, they don't even give a shit about the crime. They care about all the drama surrounding it and all the juicy little, the gossip and the rumors. So it doesn't surprise me at all that this woman who I also used to watch, but now that she's gotten kind of messy with it and there's all this stuff going, that's drawn in more people.
Oh, definitely.
Our society, it seems like we reward the wrong things. We do.
Seriously.
We really do. People like the drama. For sure.
No, it's like the nastier they are. It doesn't matter if they're reckless with information. It doesn't matter if they lie. It doesn't matter if they, and that's people are there because again, it's salacious. It's something that, it doesn't, they never stop to think these are real people you're talking about, and
yeah, that was extremely inappropriate to put her own kid in that series too. Getting not just murdered, but R-worded.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not something I would do.
What the fuck?
We know somebody in our community. You heard about that, right?
No one's impressed with that shit. It's just bizarre.
I'll just let that go.
That just tells me she was never in it for the true crime.
Right.
Itself, and for the
just
victims.
for the money, the acclaim,
self-serving.
She's very vain. Yes, that's why she puts her image in every thumbnail. It's all about her and her presenting. It's like, who does she want to be like? There's probably like some TV version, like a Barbara Walters or something like that, where
I think she's Nancy fucking Drew.
Yeah, she wants to be like a personality, a household name. Like people sometimes want to be household names, like they want to be recognized, but you're that. She wants to be a fucking celebrity. That's what it's about for her. It's about celebrity.
Well, they even have, which I'm sorry, I'm torn on this, but the first time I heard about this, I'm still torn on it. But they have something called Crime Con, where these people go there and they meet like fans, and they have or even families of some of the victims of some of these high profile cases go to it. And I just thought, like I said, I'm very torn on it because I was like, that would be a weird thing to go to. You know what I mean? Like,
Kimberly, you don't know the temperature in my place. Okay, it could be like 50 degrees in here. You don't know.
Fine,
so
but aren't you fat?
Don't judge my clothing. Yes.
All right.
And
well, I'm just saying I could.
That's why it's cold, so I don't sweat from all my fat folds. Dummy.
My daughter's all the time like, I'm freezing. I'm like, do you want me to take off any more clothes? And ask yourself.
I can't take off my fat. Okay.
Right. That's what I say.
It's always there.
Put something on, otherwise you don't want to see this.
So by the way, guys, thumbs up the stream. We're almost to 100 likes. And again, if you'd like to donate for the content, if you appreciate it, hit those links. Tara, are there any other true crime people out here that you think are similar to Stephanie or just as damaging on her level?
So about 2 years ago when I did make that video, I kind of stopped watching true crime content in general. If you actually look on my channel, I did do a video regarding true crime ethics and the overall view of it. But my views have definitely changed because originally I was all in it, all for it. I watched 10 to Life. I've probably watched them all. Court TV, I'm constantly watching. Right now, I've been stuck on the Karen Reed trial, which is technically true crime since an officer locally less than an hour away from me passed away. So I've been following that, but I definitely try to stick to like Court TV more, not these smaller content creators, I guess.
Right. Yeah. More official coverage, I guess, of these cases.
Correct. But like nothing bothers me more than like the makeup and true crime people who are sitting there doing their
Are you talking
makeup.
about like Bailey Saren or whatever?
Oh my God. Yeah. Her specifically.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember her name, but yeah, it's just like so disrespectful to sit there doing such a random thing such as your makeup. Or I've even seen people who eat and do like those mukbangs in true crime. It's like, it's just so disrespectful.
Wait. Who does the mukbangs in true crime?
There is a content creator that has done them before. So you'll have to look on YouTube, but yeah.
You're not going to say who it is?
I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I've been on YouTube for years watching so much, but yeah, there is a content creator who does mukbangs and true crime.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, a creator that does makeup, I knew exactly who she meant. That Bailey Saren. I'm like, this is kind of weird hearing somebody talk about unaliving somebody else while they're putting on their fake eyelashes and shit.
Right.
Like, there's just something, I don't know,
wrong about it. There's just something wrong about it altogether.
Have you heard of Lokamai? She does true crime. She's kind of a smaller channel.
No, I haven't heard of her.
Yeah, she's very pure about just discussing the cases. She gives attention to, much. She doesn't exploit stuff. She doesn't, drama market. She doesn't collect like tons of donations or anything like that. So she's one of the pure true crime creators I've met out
Can we
here.
drop her link in chat so people know?
Yeah, go for it. Drop the links.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to. I'm up here. I'm like,
I'm saying for the mods too. One of the 1,000 mods in the chat can drop it.
oh, that actually.
Hey, Care D, welcome. Hey, S Hockett, Scooter McBooters, welcome to the stream. Good to see you.
Oh.
What?
Nothing. Okay.
Did you get your period?
No, I was just looking at the picture. There's
so much period talk on the stream.
That's just the picture of
There's someone's gonna leave a
Rogers.
comment later. Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
Well, they came from a true crime.
No, I get it.
Land.
Look,
Land covering Sebastian Rogers. I don't know.
I won't say anything.
Don't know. What?
No, I was just gonna give my little opinion there on that, but I don't.
Give your opinion.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think, and let me just start this by saying, generally speaking, I think if people try to remember, especially with like missing children or something involving unaliving, whatever. Imagine if that were your child. Do you understand? Right. Like and no offense, welcome to the chat. Like I said, I don't want to post it. Welcome whoever you are, but if I was whatever online and I just saw, and maybe you're well-intended, whoever you are, I'm not trying to personally insult you, but if I saw my child's face as like somebody's profile, I don't think I would like that.
Like on a YouTube thumbnail.
You'd be surprised how many people have like missing children as avatars on here. There's a lot.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. No offense to you. Please don't take that the wrong way. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying that's my opinion on it. Respectfully. Okay. Respectfully.
Yeah. Hey, Angela.
I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And I think there was a turning point with Stephanie's fans when she covered the 8 passengers case. And when that came out about Ruby Frank abusing her children, even the media was respectful in, blocking the children's names and just using initials instead of full names.
That was horrific. That was a horrific case. Ugh.
Definitely. And these kids are still alive. So they have to live their lives with this past.
Yeah.
That hopefully won't follow them.
The Ruby Frank thing, that was a YouTuber thing, right?
Yes.
A family vlog.
Family vlogger. See, you know what's funny about that? There's a lot of people on here, especially in these true crime trauma spaces, where they say that, you don't talk about people's kids, you don't talk about parenting, stuff like that. And I understand that, but then you see these family vloggers where a woman literally went to jail over abusing her own children. So if people who cover that case or talk about that subject, they're just talking about someone's kids.
Well, that's
right?
somebody who's putting their whole, they are choosing to, they're making their entire content out of that. Which
and just like to tie back to the stream I just did on Queen of Kings, where this woman is, kind of being a little abusive to her own kids. She's being neglectful. She not really doesn't even want to be a mother. I mean, you have basically people on here that are the versions before they turn into Ruby Frank. Like you're a future Ruby Frank in the making. Is basically how a lot of these how I see a lot of these mothers on here turning out.
It seems social media and YouTube in general attracts these types of families for some reason.
I get very creeped out by the family vloggers. I just do.
Definitely.
Me too. They're so exploitative. Like, how do you get to that level of comfort where you can just exploit every detail of not just your life, but your kids' lives?
But
like,
you
don't get any privacy or anything like that. It's
so it's not fair to the children if they're minors and they're everything else, but also you're not really experiencing a whole lot in the moment that's organic with your own family because you're constantly got a camera up recording every interaction.
Yeah.
And it just feels very stagey, very intrusive all the time. I just couldn't imagine doing that, period, to myself, my family, my kids, all the time like that. It'd be very weird.
I agree. Well, what I was saying is, I think Stephanie's fans had turned when she covered the recent, case regarding Ruby Frankie abusing her children, and she absolutely refused to blur out the kids' photos, and she continued to use their real names, their full names, and instead of using their initials. When the media is even trying to go out of the way to now try to give these kids some semblance of privacy going forward, here's Stephanie Harlowe with her almost 1 million subscribers, just
again
disregarding
careless
all
and,
of that, being
and
careless and reckless. And so many people brought it to her attention, I guess, saying, what are you doing? Why aren't you using their initials? Why are you using the full names? Why haven't you blurred out their faces in your new video? And she literally went on the attack and said, well, because they've been public their whole lives, I'm just going to continue using their full name so we don't get the story
I've heard
confused.
a lot of people make that claim about her, that she gets very defensive.
That's another thing.
I will say
Big
this.
time.
You would think there'd already be something in place, but as far as I know, there isn't. But it would be nice if they passed some kind of legislation, something.
Yeah,
for
keeping
saying,
the children's names out of
Yes.
like publications, stuff like
Yes.
that. Because like they're gonna have to grow up with those stories circulating
Yes.
about them, and people are gonna look that shit up, and
right.
it's gonna follow them their whole lives. Like that shouldn't.
It
be
wasn't
allowed.
their choice. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's very traumatic, and that's very invasive. And again, I think there should be some kind of regulation on that, because you can't leave it up to the creators, because they're not all of them. I'm not saying all creators, but a good bit of them are not. They do what they want because they can. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And they get away with it, or even rewarded
they
for
do.
it. So if there were more things, set in place that protect some of these families, where it's like, okay, you do that, and either it's going to cost you civilly, or even perhaps some kind of criminal penalties or something, depending on what is done. I think something like that should be in place.
Definitely. In all
Yeah,
50
totally.
states.
Yeah, should be
That and the
regulated.
family vlogging in general should be regulated, because for child actors and actresses, they have these laws in place to protect them. But when it comes to social media, family vlogging in particular, there are no laws protecting children at all.
I'm sorry, Scooter. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm just very opinionated. You're welcome here, and that's fine. I said maybe perhaps you're well intended. I'm just not shy with my opinions. You know what I mean? But I'm respectful.
Yeah,
you're
you're
still
fine,
missing.
Scooter.
So
yeah, you're
I
fine.
can understand wanting the awareness because a child is missing still.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's a little different. I think.
Wait. Pause. Let me say this, Scooter. Okay, to be fair, I probably am a little more like.
Could you
on
please say their
guard.
full name, Scooter McBooters?
Shut up, James. I'm probably a little bit more like on guard or whatever when I see that, because in our little realm here, we see so many people, especially exploiting that particular case. Do you understand? So perhaps
right.
that was my first reaction seeing that. But I believe you if you're well intended and everything else. Great. I wasn't trying to personally attack you. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if I had a missing kid, I would want awareness.
Well, right.
In the public eye, of course, right?
Right.
So I can see it from that side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I asked James like 4 times. I said, no, I better not say my opinion. No. I always know right before I say something like.
So do you know about this James Coleman guy?
Who?
This is the director that's directing the web series that Stephanie is starring in. Serial.
Is that the guy that she's having the thing with?
She's having an affair with.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Right. And see, that was one of the allegedly Adam was upset. He's like, not only is she having an affair, but pardon me for getting mad that she's taking our money to fund this guy's projects, and she's sleeping with him. I'd be pissed. I'm just saying.
Definitely
so,
be pissed.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to read this post here that's on Reddit. I can't personally verify any of it to be true. I'm just going to be presenting what I'm finding here on Reddit, and you guys are just going to use your own judgment okay, of what I find here.
Okay.
So this is a PSA posted by someone about James Coleman. And it comes from someone named Academic. And they say, Eve Hovey here. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is, Tara?
Nope. Never
Okay.
heard
On
the
my
name
throwaway account what was this post originally about? I'm going to write up a clear description of what I experienced with James and his crew. It seems there's a lot of confusion. I'm confused myself as to the person who posted this and their intentions. I put my story out there rather vaguely to protect myself and others, but now I'm in a position to give a clearer picture of everything that went on. I can provide verification and evidence. Really, I just don't want another woman to experience what myself and several others experienced on Coleman Brothers sets, and to make them aware. A more detailed telling of my story and experiences will be posted tonight. So this is the story I guess she gets into here. James and I worked together for a few years, starting when I was 17 or 18 years old. He sexually harassed me with sexual remarks and flirting constantly. Though I tolerated his disgusting behavior for far too long, I did try my best to set boundaries.
Wait. Sorry, but does that not remind you of exactly what Stephanie Harlowe is lecturing about? The type of people to stay away from if you're 17 or 18? Talking about setting boundaries and all that.
Rather ironic, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yes.
Though I tolerated his disgusting behavior for far too long, I did try my best to set boundaries. I was in a relationship for the duration of our time working together. No matter how clear I made my devotion to my then partner, he still persisted. Let's scroll up here. There's a lot. Another woman on set had it much, much worse. It is not my story to tell, but I heard directly from the victim that they were coercively sexually assaulted by James on set.
Sorry, that's my phone. That's my damn phone. Don't yell at me.
Was that your dog?
No, that was my phone. I have like a little owl thing that goes off. I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Sorry.
I do not want to out her for her safety, but I hope she speaks up at some point. James did not SA me, but would do strange things such as make me do push-ups, request that I do nude scenes when acting, seemingly on a whim. One time he even jokingly smothered me with a pillow in between takes on set. I jokingly asked to be put out of my misery, but didn't think he would actually do it or push down on my face so hard if he did. Others witnessed this happen.
What? That sounds like Russ McKamey. I'm telling you, this sounds similar to Russ McKamey.
This sounds extreme. I mean,
very.
James treated everyone around him horribly, and he boasted about the toxic, misogynistic culture he promoted. I wish I didn't tolerate him for so long and spoke up sooner. From what he told me, his longtime girlfriend, now ex, knew that he was a cheater and toxic, so I didn't really feel it was my place to talk to her. I also didn't want to come across like I was retaliating for the separate falling out we had over a failed project, so I stayed mostly quiet. Let's see here. Eventually, I posted about him and another one of the Coleman brothers' film crew members. I did so anonymously in a group for women's safety while dating to let women know to steer clear. This crew member sexually assaulted me on a shitty date at his house. The gravity of the situation weighed on me for about a year before I decided to speak up. James is manipulative and creepy. The men that look up to him act the exact same way. It seems my name and James' name were brought into this just as a sideline to the Stephanie drama. After digging deeper, I'm not even sure this explanation is very relevant to the drama at hand. Still, I feel it needs to be out there among the incorrect information and bad takes. James is not a victim that are circulating. I know y'all are true crime fans, but please remember that there are real people surrounding the drama you're discussing. I have proof I'll share if someone really wants to see it. I'm not interested in pressing charges or anything as of right now. I just got out of an incredibly long legal process getting my childhood abuser locked up. I'm just trying to make movies, act in them, and help raise up other young women through art. As for my unprompted take on the drama, I was a pick-me once. It's possible to change. I hope Stephanie can move on from the mindset and behavior that keeps men like James in one's orbit. I hope her kids are all right. TLDR, James has essayed an actor, but it wasn't me. He was a massive creep towards me, though. James is not a victim. He has a history of cheating and trying to get women to cheat. He treats everyone around him to manipulation and toxicity, allegedly, of course, for legal reasons.
Can I ask, because maybe scroll back up to the first part of that, was this somebody that is only put this out now that all this has come to light with Stephanie Harlowe, or they've spoken on it before?
Well, from what I gather from this, there were people who were talking about it in relation to the Stephanie drama, and she decided to come forward and put out all the facts on the situation. So
okay.
I don't know the full drama or the full history of who brought this up and all that stuff, but that's seemingly what she's saying here in this entire post.
It'd be interesting to follow that account to see if they start putting out proof.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now James is the director and the guy that Stephanie has been allegedly having an affair with, correct?
Yes.
I believe so.
Because I believe there's him and his brother that are the Coleman brothers.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes. Yeah, and that again, allegedly, we don't know who this person is, but that was interesting what they said. That one part they said not only he seems to also be interested in getting other women to cheat. And that's a very that's a big narc move right there. And a lot of times when they do that, and then they don't want that person anymore. But it's just the thrill of getting them to, you know what I mean, choose them to fool around with them, sneak around with them, and then once they get them to do that, then it's like, it
gives them validation or something.
A sense of that ego
or accomplishment,
power.
I got her to cheat. I'm the dominant alpha here, I'm so desirable.
Yeah.
Right.
That's usually why if the woman ends up getting divorced after that, or the guy that she's married to or whatever doesn't want her anymore, then the other guy isn't interested anymore. It's not a game anymore.
Yeah.
It's not,
correct. Right. So I think we all know how that's going to end up.
Should be interesting to see what happens here in the next few months to a year. Probably be dealing with a whole set of new drama.
Right. It is interesting, though, that here this woman, again, the irony of it, like you brought up, James, is that she, covers all these other real people, real stories, taking, the most traumatic, devastating moments of their lives. And then when this has happened to her and it's gotten messy, then she wants it shut down. She doesn't want anybody discussing it. She doesn't want anybody talking about it. She thinks it's invasive, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, I bet it hasn't occurred to her that perhaps, maybe that's how some of these people she talks about or she covers might feel, because she gets very defensive when you try to give her criticism or anything. So,
she cannot take criticism, not even a little bit.
Right.
And I think that being in the public eye, and having the audience that she does, that you need to have at least a little bit of a thick skin when it comes to criticism and learn how to take it constructively. And,
too, again, when you get, as popular as she is or whatever, then a lot of times, and especially, again, it's my opinion, but with the type of personality she has, if she gets that defensive, I would bet that she surrounds herself with, people like ass kissing, backing her up, that probably aren't giving her a lot of pushback, which only enables her to continue acting the way she acts. If you try to give any kind of whatever, then she could just cut you out. And you see that happening the more successful, or the more powerful, the more popular somebody gets, then the more they don't have those checks and balances as much, or it's harder for them to keep them in some cases. And she seems like she might be one of them.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure.
What are you doing, James?
I'm just doing some stuff.
Your camera's on. We can see you.
I'm returning some videotapes.
Yeah, I bet.
So I don't know. I guess that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else to talk about when it comes to Stephanie? Any other things to bring up? The parental alienation thing is pretty big, I would say.
Yeah, and you know why that interests me. I'm wondering, because I missed some of this, trying to get home. But okay, so, and I had told you about this, James, about Adam having those 2 accidents within a couple weeks of each other, right? Has she said or done anything since those incidents? Has she alluded to it as anything, do you know?
I mean, I don't know. Tara, have you heard anything about her talking about her children or anything like that?
Who? Stephanie? Have I heard?
Yeah,
Stephanie?
ever since she made that statement, I haven't really heard much of her.
She's ever since she wrote out that whole book on her community posts, I haven't heard anything other than that.
And the thing is, this is just hypotheticals because we don't know these people. We just don't. But when I look at it like, and maybe he is not a great guy or everything else, but I also look at it like this. She is being very smart. She is. She's playing the game. She's actually doing exactly what she threatened she would to him. And the more she takes from him, like messes with it, doesn't pay him the checks like he is alleging that she's withholding, and then that you would just think, well, he should take her to court. But that could be months and months and months. Meanwhile, what do you do in the meantime? And his children taken from him. He's not in the home anymore, and then he starts acting erratic because his entire world has changed overnight. And you will be amazed how quickly. Do you understand? It's a normal reaction to be angry, to be devastated, to be, sometimes you self-medicate, any of those things. But the unfortunate part about that is that then you become what they're accusing you of. And they could stand back and say, they're not stable. And what a judge is going to look at is that they can know all of that, but they're going to do it's in the best interest of those children. And they're going to be like, we understand. We might think she's, we could see her pushing your buttons, but if you can't keep your shit together, the kids are better up not around you, so it's really going to hurt him in the end if he's run. Not. Yes, and that's very sad.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get custody of the children. I don't even think he's gonna get half custody. He's probably gonna be stripped of any parental rights. He might get visitation if he's lucky, if he behaves. But I don't think
those car accidents are concerning, especially thinking of him having the children. So.
Yeah.
I can see her using that all the way in court.
But,
it's just not going to go well. And I don't know. It's unfortunate.
I do. I feel very bad for Adam. I do. Because
oh no, I hope Stephanie Harlowe doesn't do a clap back on me. That would be terrible.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't give James the clap back. But
it would sure suck to get 1,000 people watching my stream after she doesn't clap back on me.
I think it would help people also to look at, well, before all this happened, right? Was Adam somebody that, got in a lot of car accidents? Was he somebody that acted to see? Because I do think that that's important. You know what I mean? To see, well, has he always been like this? Has he always been like a hothead or, again, reckless driver, just whatever, and see if those factors were there beforehand?
I mean, I think there may be some behavioral things that were similar before, but I don't think it's gotten as bad as it has in the last year or two.
Right.
I mean, if you want to ask me, because otherwise I don't think they would have stayed together this long. If he had behaved the same way, it wouldn't have worked. I think they were happy before. I think things were mostly working. They obviously had their differences, things that drove them nuts about each other. We reviewed that one stream they did that they just seemed very mismatched, right? It didn't seem like they were really worked together, but for whatever reason, I think they stayed together. Things were working, quote unquote. They loved each other, and maybe love was the tie that binds or whatever between them. But
it was a business.
You
obviously love doesn't, that's not everything.
It's not exactly.
Yeah, you can't sustain that without other things.
Right.
Compatibility wise, correct. But Adam also came into that relationship with Stephanie being a single mother and taking on, a child that wasn't his. And, he supported her fully while she worked a part-time job at Verizon, selling cell phones and working on her YouTube channel.
So he was the main breadwinner there for a while, right?
Yes.
I imagine he 100%. Probably feels very bitter and probably very much like, here he helped. And again, allegedly, he did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, the business side of it. He also allegedly did a lot of the day-to-day with the kids to allow her to do what she does. So to have all that, you know what I mean, snatched away from him like that talk about pushing buttons and
I can tell you, being a single parent myself, it is near damn impossible to do it all on your own.
Right.
So, I mean, there's just not enough time in 24 hours to get everything done. There's something that's definitely always going to fall to the wayside. So,
Exactly.
you know, I don't think Stephanie wanted her situation to change. I think that she wanted to keep her husband. She didn't want a divorce because if she wanted to be with another guy,
she wanted a personal assistant. She wanted him to do that.
I think when it got to the point where she was earning more and, you know, he was.
I think she let the power go to her head.
Yeah,
definitely.
She wanted the power. She wanted the control. And I think it might have destroyed some things in the process. I'm a wishful thinking team Adam person. Like I want to support him. I want to be on his side, but he's fucking up so much.
He makes it hard.
He makes it hard. You know, like
and
I want to be on his
Listen,
side.
that's easy to say too, because we're not emotionally invested in this. So that's why I try to tell people, I'm like, of course you shouldn't be online. Of course you shouldn't be doing these things. But man, you know, well, James, you know, like when you're slandering everything to.
Oh, I get that.
And on that stage, on that level, that's very hard pill to swallow.
Is he still in jail? I don't think he's still in jail. No, he crashed his car. I think him posting from Instagram. I think he's probably not in jail. I don't know how he beat the charges. I don't know any of those details, but he must have, right? Because I imagine the police showed up to the scene. They got his information and probably checked on him. And if he didn't get arrested, then I would like to also just thank the person who donated $10 before Cash App. Appreciate that.
That was nice.
Thanks.
That was very nice.
Yes, go get yourself some bubble gum, James.
I will. I'll get myself a whole fucking 10-pack of gum.
James.
I'll get the bazooka gum. Remember bazooka?
I do remember that. You know, when you brought those fruit stripes, I hadn't thought about that gum in years. I used to love that gum.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, James is very old.
Well, that's the color that Daria has on her picture.
Yeah, I know it is, and I wouldn't have noticed that either.
That's the fruit stripe gum with the zebra.
Yeah, you're
the
right.
Same colors, the pastels. Okay. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Everyone, please subscribe to Tara Vaughn, subscribe to the DeLorean. We thank you all for watching. We'll stay tuned for more Stephanie Harlowe updates and other stuff.
Nice to meet you, Tara. Thanks, James.
Nice to meet you too, and thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a great night, everyone.
All right.
See you next time.
Sounds good.